And we are back. Had to change the camera thing. You know, we learning how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So our next topic is NFL draft combine. First and foremost, we got to start with Peyton. You know, Chris, you being a lifelong Peyton Manning fan. You know, Peyton, I like him.
Parm, you are so good.
I love Peyton, second to Tom.
That's a mistake on your part.
And 19 years. Now his last Super Bowl. So I was looking at the stats. It was like he had the worst. His last season, the first season, were his worst seasons, as far as like percentage wise. Right, but however, he's still a legend.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's going down. I mean, I had Bomani Jones. I said I had Bomani Jones like that's my boy, but Bomani Jones was like on his radio show. He was just massacring Peyton for even considering trying to play for one more year or trying to go to another team.
Why?
Well,
just you know that he sucks now. And, like, everybody is like basing everything on like
one season, right?
Right. On one.
Wait, you talking about Bomani with the Frederick Douglass haircut?
Oh, and with the Chris Rock finger.
Come on,
son.
He
do got the. Well, it's real low because he don't keep it high. But
he can't do that.
But anyway, Bomani.
Yeah, you gonna make me spit this?
Bomani was assassinating Peyton Manning. But I will say, out of his 19-year illustrious career, because that's what it was, illustrious. People got to remember, not this season, but the season before that. As bad as that was he was still like the number 2 quarterback in touchdowns and yards. Like, he's in a bad year, he still was killing the game.
Yeah.
Listen, age and attrition catches up to everybody.
Father Time is undefeated, and he he got old. And I always say, when you get old, people think it happens like sometimes it's like a slowness. Nah, it's just like one day you got it, and then the next day you don't. It's gone.
And injuries and listen, it's different when you 39. You just don't got the bounce back, the snap back like you used to have. So it's like,
but you know what? But people got to remember that he played a 19-year career, 4 neck surgeries, and it wasn't like all of a sudden he just like he was on a slump and he sucked for 5 years, and it's like, oh, thank God Peyton Manning finally leave it. No, he won. He won a Super Bowl. It wasn't the best season because we're so used to him
being the best quarterback on the
crazy numbers.
And it's like, he couldn't do it his last year. He needed help from his defense.
But
so did Tom Brady. The first 3 Super Bowls he won.
Exactly.
But I don't see people knocking Tom Brady for that.
And Tom Brady still need help from his defense now. Yeah. Don't get it twisted, New England fans.
Everybody need help from their defense.
Need help.
Okay.
Listen, I love.
We're not gonna get up here talking about my boy Tom. But anyway,
I know my fault. Listen, I'm just gonna say
I am because he got them UGG boots on. I'm gonna talk about him all day. Say something.
I'm gonna just say this, man.
You ain't saying nothing about Cam with them hot pants. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
All those Versace joints.
Yeah. Damn.
I'm just gonna say, damn, Cam.
Damn, Daniel.
I'm just gonna say, man, shout out to Peyton Manning in his career.
Yes,
he's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes,
definitely.
Arguably the best quarterback to ever do it statistically. And
he
got to go out on the Bronco horse.
Literally.
With a ring on his finger. Like, he's already cemented his legacy.
Yes.
And rather, if he would have played another 2-3 years and sucked all 3 of them, his legacy was already cemented. So, shout outs to Peyton Manning and his family. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do in the next venture of his career because he's funny as hell.
Yeah,
so I can see him having his own sitcom, and I would be watching.
He could do something funny. I could also see him in the front office. I think 2 things though. This is what I was looking at. One, I was like, all right, hurry up and announce it because everybody and you know that it's time. The second thing was, I think he was really scouring the league saying, where can I get another opportunity? Because I feel like he still kind of wanted to play to kind of disprove everybody.
Yeah, no, I
So I think the opportunities that were out there, I think teams are just moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
That said, listen, we just not, even though you Peyton, we still not going to take that chance on you and your neck. But shout out to Peyton Manning, man. You talking about somebody that changed the game from an offensive perspective where they said at one point when he got to Denver, he actually has his own playbook.
Yeah.
Like the offense that they were running was what he created. So
I believe it.
You talk about one of the greatest offensive minds that we have ever seen play the game.
No doubt.
One of the greatest passes that we have ever seen in the game. So you got to give him credit for that. So shout out to Peyton.
And you know, being former athletes as we were, you know, some years ago for some and others, but you got like when you have that desire to play, you still are competitive.
Yeah.
No matter what, like even if you break your leg on the field, you like listen. Tape it up. I still can go.
Yep.
And Peyton still had that passion, and he still is pretty good. And like I said, and even if he would have stopped 5 years ago, he still is the first, Battle Hall of Famer.
Yep.
He still is.
And what he did for the game, like we really need it. Like people won't appreciate what he did until he's gone. You know, and I think people were like, well, why is he leaving? Because we're so used to seeing Peyton for the last 19 years. And even in college, it's like he's not going. You know what I mean? So it's not going to seem the same because Peyton is leaving. And, you know, we can say, oh, well, there'll be another Peyton. There won't be another Peyton.
No,
you know,
no.
you
There
got to
will
stay
never
like,
be.
if there is another Peyton, then we will be old and, you know, our kids will see it. But what he did for the game is tremendous. I love it. And I was watching ESPN, and they had like a documentary, you know, kind of like the name Peyton, and it was saying how like since,
all
since he
kids?
started, like all these kids in like Indiana and Indianapolis area, like named Peyton. Like it was like 100 and something high school kids named Peyton. You know,
there's
so.
records that he got that I don't think will be
No.
broken. Like,
No, they won't.
You think
They won't.
Tom Brady gonna play for another? His contract extension through
2 or 3 years
2019,
maybe.
which I don't think he'll make it that far because he is 38. But let's say he does. He's still like 200 touchdowns away from
Away from where he is.
From where he is.
Listen,
like, it's
shot
real out
again.
there.
He broke all my boys' records.
Yeah.
So I bow down to Peyton. The one thing that I thought was interesting, we talk about ESPN real quick, because sometimes I love them, sometimes I hate them, because they really get on my nerves.
Yes.
But, son, you talking about I was on my Cat Williams this morning. Like, we just 2 weeks out of Black History Month.
Yeah.
And the dude said, I think the NFL has to look at what's happening, because with Peyton Manning leaving and now Tom Brady in his twilight, the NFL will no longer have a true pocket passing quarterback. And the look on his face when he said it was so like, damn, bro, where the flag at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is what we've been saying for over a month, and this is what they can't stand with Cam.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that Cam is doing what he's doing is showing you the way of what the game is progressing to be.
Yep.
So, again, the crazy part of it is that I think what we won't see is another Peyton Manning, but what we will see is a great mesh between a pocket passer and somebody that can run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's coming. But, again, sometimes, man, the NFL, just because they that good old boys league, they want to hold on because they was really – even if it wasn't Peyton himself saying he wanted to still play, they was probably trying to convince other teams like, yo,
pick him
please, because we don't want to see the dab on next year.
Well, you know what though? Yeah, listen, everything has to progress. Just like the hate that Steph has been getting from the older players. It's like, listen, that's not the game anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're acting like it's not getting better. You know what I mean? Like you got to let the young guys come in and let them, expand the game, transcend for their generation, because it's always going to everything. Listen, nothing needs to always stay the same. You know what I mean? You need to change and get better in time, and that's what's happening in the NFL right now with all of these young quarterbacks.
I think the NFL is in a great place, though.
It's in a great place because you know what? Even look at their upcoming good old boy, which is going to be Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
He's still you know what? It's not there.
Mobile.
I'm gonna go get it with my legs because I can do that. It's not a knock to be able to say it's nothing there. I'm not just gonna take a sack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like have another dimension to your game. It's
and
nothing
he's
wrong
a thinker.
with that. Yeah.
So they love that too because he's a thinker. So I think the NFL
thinker,
is in
code word for not black.
Yeah.
Code word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just say shout out to Cat Williams for giving me that. You know what I'm saying? Without vocabulary, but Cat went crazy.
Yeah,
but getting back to it,
crazy.
because I don't want to stay on. I do pause, but I don't want to stay on Peyton too long because you got to give the man his props.
Yeah.
But I really want to get into some of the stuff that I've been seeing going down at these combines, man.
Yeah.
Most notably, what I want to talk about is one of your boys, Chris, from the Ohio State University.
Shout out to the Buckeyes.
Mr. Apple was being interviewed by the Atlanta Falcons.
Gay capital. Maybe they doing some recruiting down there.
And the crazy,
Maybe they doing some recruiting down there. I'm just saying.
You
Shout out to my boy Joel Brooks. I'm just saying, maybe they doing some recruiting down there.
You better than Jordan. But did the coach really, in an interview, ask this dude, do you like men?
Well, hold on, though. But hold on. Let me pause, and I don't mean that in the sexual way, Paul. But let me pause and just go back, because this was something I was listening to on Mike and Mike when they were talking about when they're doing these interviews. It's more of a psychological interview to see how you're going to react.
That's what I'm
to
thinking.
Things that are uncomfortable to you, because they want to gauge your personality. And I'm not saying that they should ask them questions like they asked the question a couple years ago. Well, you got dreads. Do you smoke weed? Or you're from the hood, so are you a gangbanger? You know what I mean? And all of those questions are, a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Invasive and intrusive. You know what I mean? And they might cut, but they just want to, I'm not giving them no pass on it, but I really honestly think they just want to see how you're going to react to a question that's uncomfortable or maybe not borderline,
offensive.
Straight offensive and disrespectful. How are you gonna react to that type of a question?
Okay.
I'm not giving them no pass to say that.
I know
you should
you're
be
not.
able to be.
I know you're not.
Ask that, but I think a psychological evaluation, it kind of opens up the spectrum of what they can ask and what kind of questions they can pose.
I get that, and I'm not going to fight that, whatever. So I understand that part, but and I know that same question. We are in an age where people are hypersensitive about what you talk about, right? The only reason right now that we're even going to have the discussion is because, again, the NFL now just had Michael Sam, right?
And he's not the last.
But he's not the last. He wasn't the first, and he's not the last because they got that undercover, whatever.
Oh, yes, they do.
But he's no longer in the league, which one isn't fair because the boy can play.
Exactly.
But you ask this young man that, let me find out, or let's do some research. You hear from somebody that said, did you ask a white player? What's your boy from Ohio State? Joey
Bosa.
Okay. Ask Joey Bosa if you ever caught somebody an incident. Let me hear somebody ask that question. Because if you want to see how somebody act under duress, do the same thing.
Well, I heard they didn't like some of his responses either. It's just the FYI, like they asked him
You know
some
what I'm
questions and they didn't like how he responded.
And I get what they're doing with these tests because NFL, they figure that they're investing money in people. They have to know what their character is like. Yeah. Because a lot of their money is guaranteed. But again, you reaching, son. And not only you reaching, but you reaching on a subject that your state happens to be one of the most prominent state for the LGBT community. So you wild for that. Like I just think as a coach in the professional light that you're trying to set as a coach and for your franchise, that's something that you don't do.
Now I definitely see what you're saying, Chris. And far as they want to see the whole psychological thing, how you act and how you take this, how you take that. But I think that you can do that without saying something that disrespectful. Because what if you say, yeah, I am gay? Now it's like, okay, now that you know that, are you going to take me? Now I'm projected to go to your team, but now that I'm gay, now you're not going to mess with me because you found that I am gay. Now that leaks out, and I wanted to tell everybody before it gets out. So now, if they're able to ask that question, then next they're going to start asking, oh, so is your mom a crackhead?
Well, they did. Ask Des Bryant.
They
asked him that question.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think because they're putting it under the guidelines of a psychological evaluation. I'm not saying that it's not right. I'm saying, but the reason that they do that, they can ask whatever because there's no legal ramifications. Because you're saying we just want to see how your mind reacts. You know what I mean?
It's to a certain extent. To a certain extent, you can ask what type of questions. However, you need to be with that player, and he needs to be on that team because now I'm getting asked by people I never even met in my life. questions that are personal to me, my family, and everyone around me. Those questions should not be asked. The psychological testing is saying, how would you react if you seen somebody doing X, Y, and Z? Those are psychological questions. Those are
but
questions
you know it don't work like that, because if you pose the question like that, they're going to answer it in a very generic way.
That's
you
fine.
got to do stuff to push buttons.
Yeah,
no,
to
but
shock the system.
No, that's fine. But I don't think that at a combine, those questions should be asked. I think that those questions should be asked like once you are on the team. Then you say, okay, since we have invested this money into you, now we can ask you.
Listen, I don't think you can ask them when you invest the money. Those are real personal questions that have nothing to do with your football acumen and how you. That has nothing to do with it. I'm saying, and the reason they ask it before you on the team, because I think if they ask you that question while you're an employee, now you're under guidelines where they could possibly sue you for, workplace harassment or misconduct. Or something. If you want to get the question in, you got to get it in now under those guidelines. Not saying it's right. Because I don't agree with some of the. I don't agree with. So you got dreads.
You smoke weed.
You smoke weed. Well, your mother got a mouth. Do she suck dick? Can I say that back to you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But under those guidelines, they get to do that. And it's not right. But listen, you got to understand though, the NFL is. I don't want to say the NFL is corrupt, but they're at the top of the food chain, so they get away with a lot. Like. I was watching Dan Le Batard. Shout out to the Dan Le Batard show, because that's one of the best underrated shows on ESPN.
Yeah, it is.
And one of the callers called and said, "Listen, as far as the NFL taking all of that money and the NFL owners getting all that money trying to put it under something else," and he was like, "Why isn't ESPN covering it? Because if the players would have did something similar, y'all would be all over it." He was like, "Is there a conflict of interest?" And Dan Le Batard said, "Of course there's a conflict of interest." He was like, ESPN has paid the NFL $1.8 billion just to show their games on Monday night. Matter of fact, he said just to show the Jags versus the Dolphins. He used the two sucky ass teams on Monday night. He said, of course it's a conflict of interest. Of course the executives don't want you bashing what they just paid billions of dollars to show. He was like, but this is a real story, and it should be pushed more. He could push it on the Dan Le Batard show, but you certainly ain't gonna hear it on Mike and Mike, and you're certainly not gonna hear it on SportsCenter. They're not. They're just not gonna push it like that.
It's certain ways that they're gonna let this play, but I think the biggest thing is the reason that they probably asked it is because they don't want a Michael Sam situation again.
Probably not,
because that was one of the biggest screw ups on Goodell's watch. They didn't handle it well at all.
One of many.
Yes. But I
don't even know if it's the biggest, because I think that Ray Rice, I thought he handled it horribly.
Yeah, I think horribly. I think
that
was one of the biggest ones where it has lasting effects, because the problem that they have now is every time that you ask a question like that, they are automatically going to link it to Michael Sam, because that's all everybody was talking about today. So where's he at? Why isn't he not playing? Is he going to get another shot? Is this going to be? And again, it just leads to a whole bunch of things. But I just thought them trying to go at young man like that was crazy.
Yeah, that was just...
And I know some of them other cats, they don't ask. It's just like, they talked about, what was the guy? It was Dante Stallworth, and what was the other cat? He used to play for the Rams that was getting all those DUIs. He was a defensive end. Was it Leonard?
Leonard, yeah. And he ended up committing manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter.
Something like that. And remember, they blackballed him out the league. Yeah. But the crazy thing is the Rams also had a quarterback that had 4 DUIs, the same as him, and had 2 other cases where somebody died. Nobody ever heard about it. And this dude was still playing. So, the NFL, they like to cover different things up. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Roger Goodell's doing a god-awful job, and it's almost sacrilegious for news outlets, sports outlets, to talk bad about Roger Goodell. He's doing a bad, even with everything that's going down with the Brady situation, and as much as I don't like Tom Brady, the way it's being
why?
Yeah, it's over. You lost.
They can't even hide that they bullying everybody into keeping that decision at what it is. And listen, shout out to everybody who listens to the show, and shout out to the people that's at them higher ranks that listen to the show, and y'all might not like what we're saying, but you agree. You know that, and
don't shoot the messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger. It's truth. In our hood, we call it facts.
Yo,
this is what it is.
And this is what killed me. So here's the new slogan, right? And it's like some old Donald Trump shit. So now when you got Cam Newton, when you got black athletes, and when you got people who are of minority descent, what they do is a lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't like what's going on. Let's keep the NFL again." So
the good old boys.
Yes. So people don't use the N word. We're like Richard Sherman. Let's keep the NFL again. With Cam Newton, let's keep it. And again, we love all races. We're not racist. We're not spitting at the hatred. However, there is still an issue in the NFL when it comes to race. Look at all the owners. Okay, look at all the coaches. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about people who are evaluating these guys, these owners who paying these guys, they're looking at these guys as just a product. You know what I mean?
When you say that stuff,
so
it does make me think, because you say look at the coaches. Look at a coach like Lovie Smith, who is a winning coach, who has nothing but winning seasons, and he gets fired after one season of a rebuilding year, Tampa Bay. But Jeff Fisher gets a motherfucking contract.
No, but
I don't get it.
Failed up. But
failed. How do
yo? Shout out to Chris for copyrighting the term "failed up." Y'all better get familiar.
No, you know what? I can't even copyright. I can't remember who I got. Who said that? I want to say it was. I got to give props to
probably like
Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman got me to that. But
shout out to Max.
Yo, you think about it. Yo, he's been a coach for 20 years. He's only had 6 winning seasons. How do he hasn't had a winning season in LA now for the LA Rams? He hasn't had a winning season. His best season, I think, was 8-8. Or no, it was 7. It was 7-8-1 the year that they tied with the Niners. Like, how do you get a 2-year contract? There's nothing you've done that made me say that this team is about to break through.
Listen,
how do you get a 2-year contract extension?
I seen it with Denny Green.
Another one.
When the Bears are who we thought they were.
Yes, when he was taking the Vikings, making them that prolific team. When he took the Cardinals, who no one wanted, and he made them a good team. It's like, why is he out the league? You know what I mean?
Leslie Frazier.
Yeah,
out the door.
Well, you Jackson, when he gave him the, he had them on the winning track.
The coach for the
best
Buccaneers.
season he had, and then they
out the door.
Chipped him out, and he had to go be a freaking DB coordinator or some bullshit. In Baltimore and Cincinnati.
And don't think that lease ain't short in Cleveland either. He has 1 year.
No, he got
to get it right.
No, he has 3 months
to get it right.
3 months. He had 3 months
to get it right.
But listen, you saying like he got 3 months to get? How is he going to get? What quarterback is he going to have?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jared Goff. If you want to bank your NFL coaching career on Jared Goff, good fucking luck. And what's the Wentz? What's his first name?
Wentz.
It don't even matter.
There are there's no quarterback that I'm hitching my fucking career to in the NFL
draft right now.
And in the way that Mel Kiper and Todd McShay are boasting all of these suspect ass quarterbacks to heights. I don't get it.
And I'm really disappointed in Todd McShay, son.
Yeah.
Because he usually put Mel in his place.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to what we were just talking about in the opening about Peyton. The NFL has to do this because for them, they have no other choice. Somebody gotta be the next one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, could they get one really good one like Andrew Luck in this draft and maybe 4 Ryan Leafs? We don't know. I know if you get 4 Ryan Leafs in the league, trust me, brother. Damn. He's in love with the cocoa, but it's going down.
But if you look at all the bad quarterbacks, Sam Bradford has proven nothing, and he just got that big contract.
Wait, please go to that. Just let's talk about that.
We can stop there for a second.
Let's stop and talk because I have never seen somebody come back from 2 ACL surgeries to the same knee, be out 2 years, come back and play 1 year, have a bad year, and you get a $36 million contract with $26 million guaranteed. Yeah. Somebody, please tell me how he got away with this crime. I watch enough Law and Order where Jack McCoy should have came down off his perch and told this dude, I don't play. I'll put a needle in your arm. Somebody.
Yo, for real.
How does that happen?
For real, I don't know. Sam Bradford, to me, has been a bad quarterback. To me, he wasn't that great in Oklahoma, but I won't even go there. He got his shot because he got his shot. And he was hurt. bad years, bad years, bad years, bad years, and he gets on the Eagles. I think he did throw for 30 touchdowns, but Sam Bradford is no world beater.
Listen,
he's no. How is he getting that kind of money?
You know why?
Listen,
Come on.
Listen. I have routinely. Shout out to anybody that want to play me in Madden too, but I can throw 30 touchdowns in Madden. If I throw 15 interceptions, that's still a bad season.
That is a bad season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Season. Even in video game numbers, that's a bad look.
Yeah, and he missed time this year. He missed time once again. I put Sam Bradford in the same category as Ryan Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
I put them in the same category.
Yeah,
just these bad. I won't even use the race stuff, but just these bad quarterbacks who are getting all of these chances when there's other quarterbacks. Like, how long has Tyrod Taylor had to ride the pine before he finally got a shot? And then he got a shot, and everybody goes, this kid good.
Listen, I give you one better. I give you one better that y'all probably is not going to see coming. Listen, Ryan Fitzpatrick had a better year than him.
Yes, he did.
If somebody deserved that type of money,
Ryan Fitzpatrick. But
the crazy thing is, now, because this is happening, Ryan Fitzpatrick is about to stick up the Jets.
Yeah.
They about to get stuck up.
You know what? I can't remember what show I was listening to, but they were talking about how all of these bad quarterbacks getting these big deals is going to make it like Kirk Cousins. All of these bad quarterbacks getting $31 million a year is going to make the price for bad quarterbacks go up.
Yeah.
Because I know you need one in the NFL in this day and age. You have to have a better than quality quarterback. Better than quality. So you're going to have to reach sometime. But when people like Ryan Tannehill, and I know, because I just think he's the worst. When people like him are getting $100 million contracts, it's just, it makes the scale unbalanced now. Because now you got to overpay for mediocrity.
Yes.
But did you see the other thing that happened too with Ryan Tannehill? Speaking of that, so he gets his money, right? Give him the $100 million. Guess who the Dolphins go to and ask to restructure their contract? And Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah. Now,
come on, man. If y'all gonna smack me in the face, just smack me in the face. Now, people,
listen. We ain't about no hate, but we ain't stupid. Okay, we is not stupid. We know what's going on, and we gonna speak the truth, whether you like it or not. If you don't like our show, whatever, thank you, but we're going to speak the truth because we tired of seeing this, like you said, like this good old boy league taking and doing what they want to do. It's not going to happen. Like, we're not going to sit around and just talk about anything because it needs to be addressed. These black quarterbacks, Kaepernick, RG3, getting thrown by the wayside. RG3, come on. Like, they should have let him sit out for a year, out for a year, regain his focus. That's all mental. You know what I mean? But now he's getting shopped around. Teams don't want him. But like you said, but you have a Bradford tear both his damn knees, ACL, you know what I mean? Everything in his whole left side, and he gets a banging deal.
Let me tell you something. I feel the same way right now about RG3 as I do with Sam Bradford. I just think you need to treat them both the same, though.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If you want to tell me that RG3 hasn't shown anything other than his rookie season and he's bad, I'll agree with that 100%. But I'm saying, at least at one point, he showed something. I don't see anything from Sam Bradford. So if you're going to treat RG3 like that, if you're going to treat Colin Kaepernick like that, if you're going to treat all these other second-tier black quarterbacks like that, then you need to treat these bum white quarterbacks like that as well. You need to treat Ryan Tannehill, Sam Bradford, Kirk. Let me tell you something. Washington Redskins fans, you are being sold a lie. Kirk Cousins.
If
you think Kirk Cousins is going to be the one to get you, the only reason the Redskins the only reason the Redskins won the NFC East was because Dallas was down. Philly is always going to be suspect with their quarterback situation.
I disagree with that. No, I'm not going to disagree with that, but I love you. The reason that the Redskins won the NFC East, everybody, is because it's the NFC East.
Exactly.
Period. That's what we're going to talk about.
You could go there too, but I'm telling you, and I hate to put a lot of stock in Tony Romo, even though he is a good quarterback.
Yeah, true.
If Tony Romo was playing, Redskins would have not had a shot.
Dallas would have won hands down.
You got to remember, as bad as Dallas was this year, they were in almost every game with bad quarterbacks.
Yes.
They got the team, and if Romo was there, they would have won walking away. Redskins. I couldn't believe people were picking the Redskins to beat the Green Bay Packers. I was like, because of what? Because they won the NFC East?
Yes, and the NFC least.
NFC least. And because they won that, they get Kirk Cousins get the stick-up job against them.
So let's go to this too, though. So we got all that settled. We know about these bad deals that people are getting. The other intriguing thing that I had was there are a lot of good free agents that are going to end up in some good places that kind of change the complexion of these conferences, these divisions. I don't know what Rex Ryan is thinking besides saving that money, but you let Mario Williams go. If Mario Williams ends up in Miami, where he's currently at right now, you talk about Mario Williams, Cameron Wake when he comes back, and Dominican Sue, Clinton Oliver. You talk about Deion Jordan. They have, what's the dude's name? Moore, that's the safety that's back there. You talk about them. Listen, is even as bad as Taney Hill is, Patriots better watch out, B.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They got to, and that's the thing, is the team of Miami isn't bad. It's the general that you got on the field that is bad. And when you can win despite of him, it's still giving him money. It's still giving, like, for everybody. Like, right. Like everybody wanted to knock Peyton Manning this year because it was like, yo, it's everybody else that he ain't that Peyton anymore. Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. He wasn't. But you need to apply that to Bradford. You need to apply that to Tannehill. Yeah. Kurt, you need to apply that to all of those suspect quarterbacks. This was that one time that Peyton wasn't like that. His career is known as a perennial, you know.
Yeah, he's like a great quarterback.
Yeah, that's his career. You know that to be his stat.
He changed Denver.
You knock him this 1 year, that's fine. Well deserved. He wasn't up to par. But you need to talk about all these other quarterbacks that are supposed to be in their prime and they're not up to par.
Yeah.
Who else y'all looking at that can end up somewhere? I know besides Mario, I'm hoping that we go after Matt Forte. Yeah, you give us Matt Forte, and when I say us people, don't act like y'all don't know. You know I'm a cheesehead gang for life. Aaron Rodgers, get your insurance discount, double check. You know how we do.
Rodgers,
do that.
Rodgers, discount, double check.
Yo, so Matt Forte is a big one. You know, I like that the Bears kind of didn't take a risk and tagged Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah, you know. So
they got Jeremy Langford in Chicago, so they'll be in good hands.
It's a couple people moving, man, that I'm like,
well, Arian Foster's going to be on the move. Yeah, because he's free. Listen,
I would even like if we get him.
To tell you the truth, the best move for Matt Forte and Arian Foster, and I hate to say it,
Dallas.
No, New England. They say New England. Rebirth for Corey and Dillon.
Come on now. Imagine Matt Forte in New England, a healthy back.
It's crazy.
That can catch. He's a three down back. Come on.
It's crazy.
It's not like you can put your trust in LeGarrette Blount.
I just want you to say New England.
Listen. I'm not going to knock that New England is a perennial playoff contender. You know what I mean? Because they are. And if they had